Thank you all very much. I'm incredibly honored and humbled to be up here right now. I remember thinking a lot about graduation day, actually, during our 1L year. And I remember imagining that Bill Clinton was our commencement speaker, and that the former president steps up to the podium, clears his throat, and he begins by addressing Dean Van Zandt. And he says, "David, I am so proud of you. Northwestern Law School is such a fine institution. And David, whoever said that great law schools don't attract good-looking people? Because I'm looking at the class of 2008 right now, and I can tell you that's simply not true." Clinton goes on to give his speech, and he concludes with a question. He turns to the class and he says, "Class of 2008, what do you really want to do with the rest of your lives?" Over the past 3 years, we've accomplished a lot together. We've thought through problems, we've traveled the world, we've partied mercilessly, but most importantly, we challenge one another. We challenge one another in the classroom. We challenge one another in the courtroom, on the listserv. And so today, class of 2008, I stand here to offer you one final challenge. And that is to continue asking yourself the very question that may have brought you to law school in the first place. What is it that I really want to do with the rest of my life? But simply asking ourselves that question can never be sufficient. We need to commit to our answers. Last year, John Staley stood up at this very podium and quoted Gandhi, who said, "We need to be the change we want to see in the world." You know, I think Mahatma Gandhi and Eleanor Roosevelt, had they been set up on a date, would have had a really fun time. Mrs. Roosevelt said that the future belongs to those who believe in the beauty of their dreams. A few years ago, many of us asked ourselves what we really wanted to do. And when we decided that earning a law degree from a reputable institution was an important part of that answer, we committed to a goal. We took time away from our friends and our families to study for a standardized test. We summarized our lives, past, present, projected, in the form of essays, and asked the people that we respected the most for their written endorsement. And when we got to law school, we continued our commitment. We let our views be heard in class, even if we were terrified of public speaking. We joined a journal, even if research and writing weren't really our thing. We tried out for the Wigmore Follies, even if we couldn't really hit a note. But here we are, ready to make a walk across stage. We committed to a goal, and we got it done. And while we are a class full of people who commit and execute, we are also a class full of people that realizes that good things don't always come easy, that the genuine pursuit of our goals sometimes takes a lot of resilience. The kind of resilience that drives Simmer Singh and Michael Peck to push and present an argument in front of the Seventh Circuit Court of Appeals. The kind of resilience that drives Megan Lynn and Greg Reichman to give quality legal assistance to people who can barely afford a square meal. The kind of resilience that drives Zenobia Harris and Jennifer Racina to devote hundreds of their hours of time to making the world a better place. These people pursue their goals with resilience because they realize that the world is full of people who let simple roadblocks deter them from their dreams. And at some point in time, they decided, I will not be one of those people. Today, many of us will exit this theater with a specific set of goals. Whether it's to one day argue a case in front of the United States Supreme Court, start a company from the ground up, save an orphanage overseas, start a vineyard, and bottle your own wine. Whatever it is, whatever that vision is, if it's truly what you want, class of 2008, never let it go. I am incredibly fortunate to have my mother in the audience today. She grew up in a tiny village in India, and at a time when the career potential for a woman was pretty much non-existent. But she decided that wasn't good enough for her. She decided that her dreams were not to be contained, and went on to become Ford Motor Company's first ever female engineer. Now, I know I don't tell her this enough, but she means everything to me. So I want to conclude by telling you a short story that she told me when I was a kid. And here it goes. One day, the wise old priest crossed the path of 3 birds that couldn't fly. For days, the priest taught his new friends. He taught them how to flap their wings, how to control their direction, how to fly slow, and how to fly really, really fast. And eventually the birds were soaring around the church, crossing paths, doing nosedives, having the time of their lives. But when the priest finally opened the doors of the church and let the birds fly out into the outside world, they quickly landed. The outside world didn't feel like the inside of the church. It wasn't comfortable. It wasn't familiar. That evening, the birds walked home, and they never flew again. In a matter of minutes, every one of us will be a lawyer. We'll have a degree that will open up doors for us around the country and around the globe. But what this degree won't do is guide our lives for us. It won't challenge us to be open about what we really want to do in life. It won't challenge us to commit to goals and to pursue those goals with resilience. That is something we need to do for ourselves. So today, when the doors of this law school open one last time and release us into the open world, I challenge you to see this day not only as the conclusion of something meaningful, but the beginning of something powerful. I challenge you to wake up every day of your life and ask yourself, what do I really want to do with the rest of it? I challenge you to never land, to never stop flying. And class of 2008, I challenge each and every one of you to enjoy your flights. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.